Hello, everyone. It's Sam here, and you're listening to Sam's podcast. I'm here today with my good friends, Coolio Vids and Shades at Night. Say hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
And,
That's great.
yeah, today we're going to be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, we saw it and we're going to talk about it because that's what we do with these movies. We did it for all the other ones that came out this summer, or as far as superhero stuff goes. We kind of like skipped June and July, but it's whatever.
Well, I think this is one of the, probably the first Marvel film that really doesn't feel at all like a superhero movie. In a good way.
Feels like a space.
It feels like a space.
A
A
space.
space. Yeah.
Oh, that was beautiful.
I hope they put that on the back of the DVD. It feels like a space. Grooved.
So, before we talk about the movie, how are we all? What'd you do today, Kirk?
Oh well, I slept
So
in.
far.
Yes, so far.
Just occurred to me it's not
That's
1 a.m. for you.
it's the morning for me.
I knew
And
it.
then I had to find a quiet place where I wouldn't, spoil the movie for family while talking about it. So yes, that's been my morning.
Very nice.
I
Anthony?
agree. Well, my brother just came in to ask me if I wanted to go get some ice cream, and I said, no, I'm recording a podcast. So they're gonna bring me back some, so I can yell as loud as I want about Guardians.
You're lucky.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna spoil everything for uh, the action figures in my room.
Oh no,
You hear that,
Daredevil.
Cyclops?
Oh, gotta single him out.
Yeah, because he's carrying little Cyclops.
It is currently 1 a.m. for me, and if you're wondering why I'm being quiet, it's because I still live with my parents. Not for long, but as of now, I must be quiet.
Yeah,
So,
we're all moving in together soon. In case everyone didn't know,
yeah, we got sick of the time difference.
Yeah, yeah. So we're moving together in the place at no time, and it's a mansion.
I get top bunk.
There's
No,
Well,
plenty of room.
while it
no,
is a
no, there's,
mansion, we are all sharing a
no,
bunk
yeah,
bed.
there's all one bed.
We're all sharing one. God, come on, guys. There's got to be a better way.
No, it's a sitcom. It's funny.
We'll take selfies.
Oh, good.
Vin Diesel will come over. It'll be great.
You won't. Yeah, okay.
We, we are Groot.
Yeah, we
so,
are.
so yeah, spoiler alert, guys. You guys know this by now, but Groot dies.
Wow.
Yeah,
He explodes.
And
that was surprising.
yeah, and then Howard the Duck took his place.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
I can't wait.
Yeah, that was it was kind of funny. I guess this is where we're starting, folks. The end of the film. Um,
Yeah,
the one of the very few things I know about Groot is that one of Groot's many forms, I guess, is he's often like just a little Groot in a potted plant. And so to see that worked into this film was tremendous because it's like those are the two versions of Groot I know, Big Groot and Little Pot Groot, and they did it.
nice.
I
I
was
knew nothing about Groot, so I was quite surprised.
I thought that well I figured they wouldn't kill him off completely. I figured that when they were all holding hands, Rocket would grab some kind of stalk or something
A
and
stick.
bring him back to life. But
Yeah.
they went the much more appropriate. He just regenerates way with it,
Yes.
which they'd set up earlier.
Yeah, the fact that he got his arms cut off and everything, I was like, well, surely he can go back from just being little separate sticks.
Separate sticks.
So, guys, right off the bat, Anthony, give us your quick review of Guardians of the Galaxy.
My quick review is if you like awesome space adventures, good comedy, and space, then I would say you would like this film. It's funny. In my review on my channel, or I guess it wasn't really a review. It was like an early reaction. I described it as a mix between Firefly and Abrams' Star Trek, which I don't. I guess it's just technically Star Wars, but I guess it's the best way for like modern audiences to describe it. Because if you talk, I think if you say modern, if you say to modern audiences, let me try that. Star Wars, there's so much to think of that you have to be specific. Like, no, original trilogy Star Wars, because you don't want to have them vision a bunch of boring people in robes talking to each other about nonsense.
With
So,
unlimited power.
yes, Lord Vader, just like that. So this one, it like has that sort of space cowboy feel that Firefly has, which was kind of interesting that Mal and Star Lord both have very similar attire as far as like
They do.
duster jackets go, and they have blasters. And I feel like if Han Solo had that, he'd be just like him, but he didn't.
Yeah, I
He's
saw Star Lord as most certainly Han Solo.
very Han Solo. Very much kind of full of himself and thinks that he's all that and a bag of potato chips. So that was really cool. One of the things about coming out of this film with friends was like, oh my god, who's your favorite Guardian? And really, none of us can like truly choose one. I went into this film thinking that Drax was going to be like my least favorite character, and I wasn't going to care about him. I was completely wrong because Drax is like the character I've quoted the most. I think this past like 2 days. He's just so much fun. But yeah, that's this film. It's fun. It's refreshing. It's exciting. The music's great. It's emotional. It's everything that you could want.
Well put. Kirk?
I didn't love this film. No, I'm only kidding. No, I actually thought this was excellent.
The bit when the Mandarin.
It turned
Oh,
out
the
Ronan
Mandarin
the
showed
Accuser
up.
wasn't actually, he was just a drunken spaceman.
Groot was really
Yes.
Guy Pearce.
That I would have been fine with. But yeah, I went into this film with. Yeah, actually, I'll take it a little bit further back. I didn't know what to expect when Guardians was initially announced. Like a lot of people, I had vaguely heard of the title before, didn't really know much about the characters, had heard of Rocket Raccoon, got him confused with Squirrel Girl. That's not for everyone, that's just me. But so going into this film, I was like, well, I'm excited to see a Marvel film about characters and a part of the universe that I just don't know about, because I feel like the Marvel universe I'm quite familiar with. I'm probably more familiar with the different characters of Marvel than I am of DC, and yeah, so I was just excited to have a brand new experience, not know anything about the main character, not know anything about the supporting characters, or even much about the villain. I know Ronan. I guess I know Ronan better than some of the characters in this film, but anyway. So I was just excited for a brand new experience, and that's what I got. And it was just such a fun movie. It was such a funny movie. It was just a joy to watch, and I mean, it definitely has its emotional core, and I think that's definitely the characterizations are so fantastic. You don't need any knowledge of the Guardians comic to enjoy this film, and I know at some places people have accused the film of you need to know the source material, and I think that's the beauty of the film, is that it knew that it had to be such a strong script and have such strong characters in it, because people weren't gonna know little things about the character from the source material. People, don't just know the origin of Star-Lord like they know the origin of Batman or Superman or whoever. So I appreciated the time the film took to really get to know these characters, and the characters and their relationships felt so organic. And two of the characters are completely CG. I was just really impressed by how they felt like it was a team of misfits that became a team, and it felt appropriate, and it didn't feel forced. Like I said, it felt very organic, and I just enjoyed the hell out of this movie. Loved it.
Very nice. I
How
guess
did you feel, Sam?
it's difficult to ask myself questions when I'm hosting.
No, it's
How
not.
did I
You're just
feel?
not trying.
Yeah. Difficult to add more than what you guys have already said. This movie was just a ride. To me, it feels like the kind of movie we could only have got in that sort of 70s, 80s renaissance of sci-fi. Of that sort of free-spirited, bold, risky, just brave approach to science fiction, and all the characters felt real. This is the first time I have completely, honest to God, forgotten that the characters were CGI.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, Scooby Doo, that got me too. But I'm making a joke, of course.
I was gonna say.
I get it,
How-
James Gunn.
Um,
He wrote and directed both these films.
Oh, it's not Batman. It's
That
just
was
Scooby
pervy
Doo.
Scooby.
No.
God, I hate those trailers. Let's go back to Guardians.
But yeah, I bought every single one of the characters. I thought there was I, the soundtrack gives the movie some kind of really confident swagger. It's so out there, not afraid to be the kind of movie that it is. It knows full well that it's about a talking raccoon and a walking fighting tree, and all these different cosmic out there ideas and concepts, and the movie completely embraces them. This feels like the kind of fun, upbeat summer movie that sort of Ghostbusters or the original Star Wars were. They've just got that. It feels like it's got the childlike spirit, basically. I feel like if this were made by anyone other than Marvel Studios, it would have been brooding and dark and bleak and blech. But they get the material, and even if this had deviated massively from the comics, um, whatever. If that were the case, the movie would have changed things for the better, because I love this movie.
Very competent movie. They knew exactly what they needed to do.
Yes, competence the word I was looking for.
And I think so much of that has to do with James Gunn. I think he really understood what was required of this film, and what was required script-wise for people to really properly accept it and understand it.
Yeah, and this is coming from a guy who has made PG porn.
Your favorite videos?
I love them so much. They star people such as Craig Robinson, Michael
Alan
Rosenbaum,
Tudyk.
Alan Tudyk. Great guy. That's the thing about James Gunn, is that he's definitely, watching all of the interviews and such, he's so goddamn passionate about
Yeah.
these characters, especially Rocket and Groot. He talks about them like they're his own children. And in many ways, they are. And it's exciting to see a director this involved with his project. I'm glad it's him working on Guardians 2. I remember whenever we got the announcement that Guardians 2 was going to be made, I feel like a lot of us had the same reaction of, well, I haven't seen the first one yet, so I don't know how to feel. And then seeing this was like, yes, I need more of these characters. I need to see where these characters go and that sort of thing, what more stories can be told. And the fact that it's James Gunn continuing this story is just so exciting.
And again, Marvel put an enormous amount of faith in him. It just feels like a really healthy filmmaking environment. They just give these projects to people. They say, okay, you might need to do this, that, the other, but otherwise it's yours to have fun with.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
think they've
working out.
definitely learned since Jon Favreau definitely had that sort of free reign with Iron Man 1, and then he was mismanaged and was given all these mandates for not mismanaged, micromanaged, excuse me, He was micromanaged, and he had all these mandates for Iron Man 2, and he's publicly said that that's not the film that he would have made. So I think they've somewhat learned that, look what happened with Avengers when we let Joss Whedon sort of take over.
Yeah.
I think, they're still a young studio, so I think they've learned. And this is what I think DC, um, I think this is what DC are missing with their films, is that they're not putting faith in different filmmakers. They're putting all their, chips on the same filmmakers who've made their films, which, I'm not saying you shouldn't hire people with great track records, but if you're gonna have, a new Batman movie by the dude who, well, actually, if you're gonna have Batman and Superman crossover, and it's gonna be the guy that directed Watchmen and 300, and the guy who wrote the story for the three Dark Knight films. That's good. They've got a great track record, but you're just giving work to the same people. So how can you expect them to keep coming up with fresh ideas?
Yeah,
Um,
it's playing it safe versus, being risky, having balls, and just going for it.
yeah, and I don't think you know putting your faith in James Gunn is a risk, just because of who he is and the films that he's made. But at the same time, it's a risk in that uh, he's not a proven filmmaker with a superhero movie, and it's a completely, new. What's the word I'm looking for? It's a completely new, part of the Marvel universe. This is uncharted territory with comic book characters
Oh,
that even
definitely.
comic book fans don't know that well. So this is definitely a risk. But it's funny looking at or watching interviews with people. Like I was watching one with Dave Bautista where he was asked, did it feel like you were all taking such a risk, adapting such a niche product of the Marvel comics, and he said, we never felt like that because the script was so strong. So I just really take my hats off to everyone involved for making such a fun movie. And I mean, there are some spots I could criticize a little, and there are some things I thought were a little cliche, but I I just thought overall, it was so fun. And it's not since Avengers have I had such fun watching a movie like that. So yeah, fantastic.
I agree. It's cool to see everyone involved in such a way that makes you their energy in the movie makes you feel how they're feeling. Like it's just fun. Like you
Yeah,
said, it's exciting, and I have to agree. I haven't felt this way since the Avengers. At the moment, and granted, I did just come out of this film. I'm still on a Guardians high. I would say this is a better team movie than Avengers. I feel like it's kind of weird because one, we're dealing with a product no one really knows, and two, we don't have setups for any of these guys, and yet I
mm,
still kind of feel like I enjoy this as a team more so than Avengers. I feel like there's a lot of things that are just a bit more. It's a bit tighter in this film as
Yeah.
far as how the characters come along and why they stay together as opposed to Avengers. And I feel like, and Joss has said this about his film so many times. I feel like by the end of this and being Age of Ultron, we're gonna get Avengers, but more. It's a bit tighter and a bit more solid. Because I mean,
yeah,
in the direction Marvel's taking right now, that just seems to be the way that they're going. Is movies that are just solid pieces. They're feeling less like business moves, well, most of them, and more like creators making creative things.
Yeah,
It's
it's doing
passionate
yeah,
people making passionate films.
it's doing what a film studio should do. You know, it's people seem to forget, but Marvel Studios is a film studio first, and not just a comic book thing in the first place. Um, and in terms, and film studios should give that level of respect and faith in talented filmmakers that they haven't tried out before. It gets them new places. Again, like Kirk said, if you're just playing it safe, you're not really going to go anywhere particularly amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
It's fun. It's fun. That's
Yeah.
like all I can say is that I had so much fun, and I think that's what movies like, especially movies like this, should be.
Um, Villains.
They happen. That they usually like try to do things to our protagonists, and it's usually unfortunate or bad in some shape or form. They are present in this film, and yes. What else? What else about villains?
Did you
Did you?
think Thanos' presence throughout the film, as in the background, do you think that kind of was a bit too much of a sequel bait?
I was talking to Anthony about this after I saw the film over Messenger. What I really love about Thanos is that when they announced Age of Ultron, I was like, "But you've set up Thanos to be the villain. Why are you waiting so long?" And like I knew he was going to show up in Guardians, but I was like, "But that comes before Avengers anyway. So why are you just doing Ultron and not doing Thanos yet?" But what I love is the slow build to Thanos. I love how we're taking our time to get to him because, you know, with Age of Ultron, Ultron feels like the ultimate threat right now. From like listening to the audio of the Comic Con footage and just hearing what's been said about him, it's like, well, man, how are they gonna? What's gonna be left for Thanos to do by the time Avengers 3 rolls around? But what I really appreciate what they're doing, what I appreciate that they're doing is that it's such a slow build to Thanos that by the time we get to him, he's going to feel so important. His cameo in this film was like, I got goosebumps when it happened. Just that slow turnaround because I didn't think we were going to see him actually.
Yeah, that was
And
a
then
surprise.
yeah, that was shot was just so cool, and his presence just felt like whoa, like something big's coming,
Yeah.
and I can't wait to see what Josh Brolin gets to do with him. But that I really loved that scene. It was one of my favorite scenes of the film because it was the most Marvel feeling scene. I will admit.
Well, he,
But
he does
just
look
that
straight off the page.
he does, yes.
Yeah,
Um,
even more so. I feel like at like the most recent incarnations of Thanos, like as far as his like I guess current Marvel now look, that's pretty much it. It's
yeah.
beautiful.
But yeah, just that slow turnaround and him just sitting there smiling as the camera, pans back. I was just like, I turned to my friend and I was like, whoa, because it feels like, yeah, we're saving him for something big and important. And it just felt like an important moment getting to see him in this film.
Yeah, it reminded me of the hologram sequence from The Empire Strikes Back, where you
Which
see
is present in this film.
exactly. You see the Emperor, and he'll show up in the next movie. But right now, it's just he answers to someone. Shit, because you already are quite intimidated by the first villain, the actual villain they're going to be fighting this time round. The idea that they have to answer to someone that has more authority over them, that's creepy. And yeah, so I mean, someone said to me, it's a bit sequel baity, but if I consider it in the same respect as the Emperor in Empire Strikes Back, it works for me.
I think it's sequel baity the way we see it now, just because any franchise is like that. Nowadays, we're so used to catching it that it's obvious. If this was made in the same vein, like you said, as the Emperor, it wouldn't be called that. It would just be, it's just setup. It's
Yes.
not like, it's not, Thanos was not waving his ticket to Avengers 3 in your face. He was just present and letting you know that he exists and he's still around and he should be feared. It was not, let's keep it small. How about six? Now go get six random people's suits from my office, and we'll make a movie about them. It was not that.
Yeah, yeah. And I feel like you sort of had to address him in this film so people knew who the hell they were talking about when they were saying, that they're both Thanos' daughters. And it's like, so you sort of have to
Yeah,
address
true.
him. So I like that he was just there for a scene, and that's all he needed to be there for. It felt so intimidating just seeing him there. I'm sort of surprised that Marvel have sort of released that they uploaded that video of
Yeah, God, they didn't
a
even
look
wait
back
a
at
day.
Phase. No, they didn't. Nor did I wait to make it my Facebook cover photo. But yeah, I was just surprised because I was watching it with my brother and he hasn't seen the film yet. And then I just had this inkling that they were going to show something at the end that he might not want to see. And then freaking there he was sitting there. I was like, oh God. But yeah,
I think they were a bit smart to release it because if they didn't, there would just be countless leaked images. I think Marvel was playing it as let's just release it instead of people having to look at blurry images all day. Like we know it's going to be out there in the first place, so fuck it.
yeah.
Let's just
Yeah.
do it anyways. Let's just say that we did it, and then we can be held responsible for showing the world Thanos.
That's a
What?
good point. I mean, Marvel have had that mentality a lot in the past of let's announce it before it happens.
Yeah.
But it's funny because like I wanted to see if there was images of uh, Mr. T Duck around, and I mean they're not nothing's high quality yet, obviously, but there's all these different photos of him circulating the internet already.
Yeah, it's so great.
I guess that's a good segue.
Yeah, segue into Seth Green. What a
Yes.
guy! I'm so glad
That's
it was
cool.
Seth Green. The basically the, I guess just Robot Chicken itself in Marvel form. Howard the Duck.
That's a good point.
That's what he is. Just like just a an odd sort of parody character that they had that was almost in some ways the original Deadpool. You know, he was
Yeah.
wisecracking and goofy, and I'm not too certain, but I'm pretty sure he did some form of fourth wall breaking. Like he was the original goofball that Marvel had, and then they made a movie about him, and then they stopped.
Yeah. Who here has seen that movie?
I
I
have.
have. Thanks, George Lucas.
We all have.
It's like poetry, it rhymes.
Yeah, it has duck tits. Woo!
It was made on
Yeah, that.
Earth, I think.
Oh God. That movie
Leah
is like
Thompson.
I mean I love Leah Thompson. I think she's fantastic, but I mean Jesus, that movie's horrible, and I'm kind of excited about the fact I don't know if we're gonna get a movie with him, but I do like the fact that he is in the same cinematic universe as Iron Man
I
and Captain
love it.
America and Thor. Like he exists with all these people.
Yeah,
I think that's fantastic.
it's
I
the
don't.
cherry on top of Guardians. Like
Yeah.
this movie is just you go into this movie and it's like you're not here to see, Thor fly by, you're not here to have them drop a line about Tony Stark. You're here to see something completely different and then they drive it home with like, yeah, this is the movie you're watching. Here's Howard the fucking Duck.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're gonna be making a movie about him. I mean, I'd love to see them give it a go, because, you know, but
Yeah,
Love to see you try.
they might make a short about him,
that'd be
like
cool.
a one
Make
shot.
a one shot.
As long as
Yeah,
Seth Green voices him, I'll be fine with it.
It
I think they'll get Seth Green. He's been so.
did he
It was
voice
so
it?
funny because
Did he voice him in the after credit scene?
Yeah,
Right. Okay. I was wondering where all the Seth Green stuff was coming from.
I'm just a huge fan.
yeah, like it's funny because watching him during Comic Con weekends and at Nerd HQ and stuff and saying how good Guardians is. It's so funny that he's actually in it. It's, you know,
I wonder if he knows.
But
maybe he
yeah, I
doesn't.
mean the fact that they said they put at the end Howard the Duck. I think that was basically them saying, sort of just saying, yeah, there he was. There you go. It felt like them sort of going, well, while we're here.
They credited his creators. Like, how cool is that? It was very much like a. Oh, by the way, that was Howard the Duck you just saw. Yes, we went there. You're welcome, Marvel Studios.
It's funny. I think because like the credits of a film kind of get released before the film comes out for some reason. I don't know what the technicalities of that are, but it was so the notion of how the duck created by leaked. So because I did read during the week, possible spoiler for after credit scene, and I was like, no, I'm good. It'll be like Nathan Fillion as Nova or something.
Oh yeah, wasn't he
Boy,
even?
was I wrong.
That I just completely forgot. Was he in the movie?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he
Where
was.
was he? Because they've been talking about this cameo for ages.
He was that blue guy that was like threatening Star Lord to like rape him, and then Groot shoved his branches up his nose.
Oh god, I didn't notice that at all.
Yeah,
I did not. I would never in a million years have known that was him.
I didn't
Honestly.
think it was. My buddy Skylar was like, I'm pretty sure that was Nathan. His word choices and just like the way he sounded was very like Nathan as far as speech pattern goes. And I'm like, I don't know, his voice didn't sound like the Hal Jordan at all. What are you talking about? And then sure enough, that's who he is.
That's an incredibly subtle cameo.
Yeah, I mean that's perfect because now we can use him for anything else if needed.
Yeah.
That is true. Yes.
Yeah.
What was the reaction like in terms of the after credit scene with you guys?
Confusion.
Well, because the film actually hasn't come out here yet, I saw an advanced screening. So like when I announced on Grundy that I'm going to be seeing it Friday, I thought that we were all getting it at the same time. But it doesn't come out till the 7th out here. So it was basically the hardcore fans that were there. They had a screening on Friday night, which I couldn't get to, and then one during the day on Saturday. And I felt like the one on Saturday was sort of more of the comic book fans as opposed to the moviegoers who like seeing advanced screenings and midnight screenings. This was kind of like the comic fans who had a day off who came to see the film. That's sort of how it felt like. And so it got a big reaction. Not like cheering or anything. Aussie audiences don't really do that, unfortunately. But the film did get an applause at the end, which I was so happy because I've wanted to give a standing ovation to Days of Future Past and stuff, and it's just we don't have audiences like that out here. But there was just this big sort of like that was everyone's reaction because most people in the audience knew who he was, but it was it was just such a cool it was a cool moment because it was so unexpected.
It's ridiculous. I'll give you a nice like interpretation of how I reacted. So I guess I do this thing now where I yell things in theaters at after credit scenes. In the Avengers, I was the one who yelled, "It's Thanos!" because I wanted to make sure people knew. And then 5 people turned around and were like, "Who is that guy?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's this."
It's George McFly.
I'm like, that guy, that actor, he won't be back. But don't worry, we're gonna get the guy from Men in Black 3. And so,
Jonah Hex.
yes, his face will be fine. So when this happened, I yelled in confusion and just weirdness, just Howard the Duck, just like this. Howard the Duck! Like that. And that's what my theater heard. I walked out confused. And then I was a little annoyed because I'm like, I wanted something for the next movie. And then I realized, oh, wait, I just saw Guardians of the Galaxy. That was genius.
Yeah. It's funny as well because I thought I had the prediction of we might get a teaser for Avengers 3 at the end, like we had Avengers 3. That would have been impressive. We might get a teaser for Avengers 2 the same way we got a teaser for Avengers at the end of Captain America, since there are no more Marvel films until Avengers comes out. And I was like, I know those guys won't be showing up in that film, but I thought they might still do that. Maybe they could link up Thanos or something, or maybe I thought they could have done anything. But then when they had what's the space dog's name?
Cosmos.
Cosmo. Yeah, when they had
He's Russian.
Cosmos. Oh, cool. When he was licking the collector's face, I thought that was going to be it, and I was like, oh man, I hope that's not all. Then I heard a voice. I was like, oh, who's that? Oh my god. So yeah, that's how I reacted.
I'm so jealous of your experiences. It got spoiled to me 2 hours before I'd seen the movie. Some guy tweeted a picture of Howard the Duck with me tagged in it, and it said spoilers.
Well, that's fucking stupid.
And my reaction was just, "Oh, you son of a bitch," because like the only other I feel like this was the only after credit scene I would have cheered for in a proper I know who the fuck that is. And yeah, and oh god, it angered me so much. I'm still a bit pissed off about it. I know the guy didn't mean to do it, but yeah, that's really stupid of you to do, mate.
Hey, guy who spoiled it for Sam. Fuck you.
Poor guy. But I mean, hey, come on. You know what you did.
But he personal messaged me saying, "Oh, I just saw Guardians. It's amazing. Don't let anyone spoil it for you." I was like, "What the fuck?
Except for me!
This guy's an evil bastard." I shouldn't say that. He's a loyal viewer.
Not anymore.
Well, I'm sorry, sir, but that was stupid.
Yeah. So when I heard the voice, I was like, "Well, I know he's going to be there. It'll be cool to see him." But yeah, it just upset me. But the fact that they put Howard the Duck in there is fucking awesome. I just loved that so much, and yeah, I don't think they're gonna make a movie about him. It'd be awesome to see them try one, but even just as a bit, I adored it.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
What did you guys think of Karen Gillan as Nebula?
Oh. There you go.
Wow.
Wow. Look, I've never watched Doctor Who. I don't know her work, and I know that she is British, obviously, and I thought she did an awesome job with her accent. I thought she was like really cool at being this threatening, menacing, evil witch woman. You know,
Which?
I said witch instead of
Cyborg?
you know.
You know, which?
I was, I was being PG.
PG, you just told the guy to fuck off.
Yeah, that's why I am. I felt bad.
The
You
bit where
can't
she
stop it now.
like snaps all her cyborg bones back together. Reminded me of the bit in the Wolverine when Viper peels her skin. It's like constant reminders that we're not meant to find these women attractive because they're evil.
What? No, that didn't work then.
All the shots of everyone's wearing tight leather in this movie. All the shots of ladies walking. It's like this Gunn must know what he's doing.
Yeah,
But
he
yeah, and then
does.
you get
Did you
a
see Scooby-Doo?
but then you get a shot of like Nebula snapping her jaw back into place. I was like, well, there we go.
It just
Thanks for
means
that.
she's durable.
Wow. Wow. Okay, thanks. I don't feel so bad about telling someone to F off now.
Good.
Okay.
No, but I really enjoyed her performance. I thought she was great.
Yeah, Nebula was awesome. I'm glad she got away at the end because I really want her to be killed by Thanos. The first comic I ever read with Thanos was like Nebula was like in a spaceship with a bunch of other people, and then Thanos like appeared out of nowhere, and they were like, "Thanos, we thought you were dead," and Thanos was like, "You disappoint me, Nebula," and just killed her.
Wow.
And
That's
I was
hot.
like, "Whoa, dude, that's your daughter! You came back from the dead and just immediately killed her." I thought he was just like the most evil dude ever, and I hope they bring that to screen.
And you were right.
It was great. Like, what a great first impression of Thanos. The guy shows up and is like, "Hello, my daughter. You are a disappointment. Dead." And then he fought the Silver Surfer. It was a great book.
I gotta tell you, the second the movie, well, I mean, the movie started with a admittedly quite involving scene, surprisingly, and then once I gotta say, the Marvel logo really gets me pumped up. Just the bit where duh 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 duh, I start pounding the air. I'm like, yeah.
I start making stew in my pants.
Jeez.
But yeah, and then when Peter Quill puts on the headphones, and then the title just comes up like Guardians of the Galaxy. It's
Oh, that opening scene.
can you
Sorry, not
think
the
of any other
opening.
movie that has nailed this sort of tone?
No. And
Don't.
that's the thing. Like, I loved so much how, we had that very moving scene, and then we get the Marvel logo, and then it's followed up by, Star-Lord dancing in that. I thought that scene was particularly hilarious.
It was great. I've said this all over the internet by now, but I don't really cry during films, and I was in tears at this opening scene. I found it just so real. I I don't know what it's just it really hit me. I want to say that this kid actor was fantastic. I really believed him, and as far as his emotions go, like whenever he was screaming, whenever he was like being abducted by Blue Michael Rooker, I believed him that he was like in true pain in that moment. He was terrified, and the one person in his life he can turn to is now gone. That was super scary. Like, and I don't want to do this, but I'm gonna compare that to the Gotham trailer where young Bruce Wayne screams. I feel like I see that and I go, my ears, that hurt. Um, I see this and I go, oh my god, Star Lord, that's so sad. I feel for you right now. I feel for you and I'm crying, and then the very next scene I'm laughing. How the hell did that happen? God, such a powerful scene. I'm going in there like, this is the Guardians of the Galaxy. There's a talking raccoon and a tree and a green man. And it opens up with that, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, and
Oh.
that was well paid off. When Gamora reaches out and he finally takes her. Of what he's seeing is his mum. Um, I find it funny to imagine that for the soundtrack for the third film, at the end of the second film, he's gonna find an awesome mix 3 somewhere.
Oh my goodness. That was
I hope so.
that was the thing. Because of this movie, people at my work have been playing music from it a lot, and so anytime it plays, "Ain't No Mountain High Enough," I'm like, "Oh, that's lovely. I can't listen to that song the same way ever again because I just think my little Star Lord."
Oh,
Uh,
I
that was just it was great.
I got to mention my very favorite bit. Um, I'm not just saying this to be funny. I've always thought it'd be really cool to see what would happen if you just started dancing in front of the villain. And he fucking challenges him to a dance off.
Oh my god, Rona's reaction is the best. Just what are you doing?
Ja. Listen to these words.
Ronan was so confused.
What are you
This
doing?
guy. He can do whatever he wants right now. He's got the power of an Infinity Stone, and just this guy's dancing in front of him. What are you doing? I don't understand. God, it was beautiful.
I adored that scene so much, and I burst out laughing because have you guys ever thought, yeah, I'd probably do that because no one's ever probably done that.
Like, yeah, I've thought, what would happen in that sort of situation, and what was so awesome about it is that like it didn't feel forced. Like, it felt like something this character would do, or that sort of thing, and everyone found it hilarious. And yeah, I thought that was really funny. I liked it when he wanted Gamora to dance with him, and he's like, "Okay, take it back." It was good.
It was great. Yeah, like you said, it didn't seem out of nowhere. You're like, oh, what is Star Lord doing? You're like, yeah, that's Peter Quill.
Yeah.
I get it. Like if like in the middle of the battle between Malekith and Thor out of nowhere was like, "Oh, child, things are going to get better." You would be like, "Okay, what just happened?" But it works because we know that this character would do something like that. And God, yeah, like you said, what if the hero just started dancing and it happens here and it actually makes sense? How weird is that?
And they were
Yeah.
so right to show constantly in the trailers the who bit because
Yeah.
when he says Star-Lord and he goes, finally, that's a yeah moment.
Yeah, I agree.
He's like, someone knows my name. He knows my name. It's great. The searching all the way. Another thing I really liked was the payoff of why they took him in the first place. Like the whole thing of like, oh, good thing we didn't take him to his dad. He's a jackass. I found that great. People were asking me the next day, like, so who's his dad? I'm like, he's just some guy. Like, it's no one that's already been pre-set up. It's just gonna be cool. Like, there's no way I can really explain it because they're like, oh, is it something?
It's
It's like
Harrison Ford.
it's no, not Harrison Ford. No, I don't want that because then he'd be like, Dad, it's you, and he'd be like, Hey there, Chris Pratt. I'm
He'd
in
be
space.
asleep.
He would be, and I guess that's kind of fitting
Now let's
because
make his dad Chewie.
make his dad Sean Connery.
Let it go.
50 no's and a yes means yes.
In Greek. So yeah, I think it'd be great if that was his dad. Or it could be Corsair if they really wanted to fuck with people, because
They
both
won't do on the F with me.
both Scott Summers and Peter Quill have space dads. So why not? Why not? Fox is never gonna do that, so they might as well use it.
I think
What if they-
Cyclops and Howard the Duck should get their own movie.
Oh my god. What if we get an announcement tomorrow? It's like, official, Marvel gets the rights to just Cyclops so that they can have Corsair.
Oh my God.
Also, Cyclops and Howard the Duck spin-off movie coming 2019.
You have no idea how happy that would make me.
They get the rights to
Just-
just Cyclops.
To just Cyclops. It's funny because I was actually thinking about that. It's like, that would be awesome if Joss Whedon was like, hey, you've got a character over there, Fox, that you've repeatedly failed to do something worthwhile with. Yet in my comic, I did something worthwhile with him. Can I just have him? Because you're clearly not going to do anything with him. I would be
Yeah.
so happy. I'd be so happy.
His Cyclops is the Cyclops where even not Cyclops fans like them. Like that's how good his Cyclops is. Where people who hate Cyclops, they go, Cyclops sucks. Except for that one time where they describe the Whedon run. It's like, fuck yeah, Cyclops is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Marvel, they're gonna announce it tomorrow.
And they won't put a
I
verse in
would
the
be
title.
fine with him. Cyclops versus Howard. I'd be fine with this.
What about other characters? I like them too.
Groot.
God damn it, Groot. Groot is a child, and I love him.
His reactions to things.
Groot is love.
Oh,
Groot is
fuck.
life.
Yes. He's just so great at just reacting to his surroundings. I loved when Rocket was like, "Oh, my wife and daughter are dead," making fun of Drax, and Groot's reaction is just, "Oh!" And he covers his mouth like he's mortified. He's like, "How? Why would you do that? He's our friend." Rocket.
That was mean.
I gotta say, I nearly choked up when Rocket and Groot had their little moment.
my
Just before he died for 10 minutes. Why are you doing this? And he says, "We are Groot." Oh my god.
Oh my god, you really think he's gonna be like, we are friends, but it's in true Groot fashion, we are Groot.
Yes.
He wasn't saving them, he was trying to absorb them. We are Groot. Didn't work. They hit the ground too hard. Yeah, that image of Rocket with the little potted plant was so adorable. Just him like, hey, Groot's been carrying me the whole movie, now I get to carry him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Such a perfect payoff.
So, the big question is this the best Marvel movie?
Shit.
I wouldn't say
Take your time.
it's certainly not my favorite. I've been trying to think about where I'd rank it. Like, I don't think it was as good as Cap 2.
Yeah, I can't say anything. I'm biased. Like you guys know how I feel about the Winter Soldier. It's it's the best thing ever made by human beings. So I can't really
Winter
say.
Soldier is the best movie ever made by a human.
Thank you, Mr. Plinkett. I would love a pizza roll.
I like to fuck my cat.
Wow. Sure glad I know what we're referencing.
That's
Jesus.
exactly what I was thinking. Was Kirk does not know what's coming.
I'm aware that Red Letter Media exists, but Jesus.
God, that was great.
There's someone I know we were talking about it's this Marvel movie enough. There's someone else I want to talk about, and that is Mr. Drax.
Oh
Uh,
I'm
God.
sorry, I wasn't listening. I was thinking about something else.
okay. So Dave Bautista plays Drax the Destroyer, and I've watched Bautista's work for like 10 years now. He's a pro wrestler, and he stopped wrestling back in like 2010, 2009, 2010, 2010, yeah. And he tried to he had a few acting roles here and there. He was of course the man who eats bone marrow from the Phantom Zone in Smallville. Tremendous. And he got this role, and I was like, oh, that's cool, good for Batista. And seeing him in this film, I mean, I feel like he's somewhat of the breakout of this film. He has such great comedic timing, and he had such great chemistry with his castmates, and like Rocket and Groot, especially Rocket. So I thought he was so good in this, and like you said, Anthony, Drax was the one character that you kind of weren't excited for, and he's the one that you came out of the film quoting the most. I thought he was like it was surprising in a good way how great he was in this film.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so strange that he was as good as he was. I I did not expect to love him as much as I did, and he was just so great. Yeah, I've been quoting him nonstop, whether it be about the finger on the throat, or just you are my friend, dumb tree, and you, green whore. Like he doesn't mean anything by it. He's just that's just what he sees, and he calls it as he sees it, and that's just awesome. Batista was talking about how there was like a big interview with the Guardians cast talking about what would it be like if Avengers met Guardians and that sort of thing, and Batista was talking about how great it would be if Drax met Tony Stark because Tony Stark is so witty and quick that he would just hate Drax. He would say something like, nice swing point break, and Drax would be like, I don't understand what that means.
Yes,
It'd be so great. It'd be a great buddy cop film.
that'd be the best film. I would pay to see that. That and then the Cyclops Helgaduck film.
Yeah, just one is sarcastic, the other is literal. They're both assholes. Drax and Iron Man in I don't fucking know.
Drax versus Iron Man.
Drax versus Iron Man. Dawn of this
I don't know.
annoyance.
One has red
Sure.
eyes, the other knows quack foo.
Yes.
X-Men Origins. Quackopocalypse.
Quackocalypse?
Yeah.
I'm fine with this.
Get on it, Brian
Someone
Singer.
needs to be writing this shit down.
Yeah, Brian Singer. You know you're listening. You want to know how Guardians came out. He hasn't seen it yet.
I'd be so happy. I mean, I'd love to see Bryan Singer get to do his thing with Cyclops, but it would make my day more if he was sold back to Marvel. It'll never happen, but a guy can dream.
It'll never happen. I think it's great.
Hey, come on,
I guess.
he's back. That's something.
Yeah.
Oh, spoilers
Yeah.
for no, fuck it. People have seen it.
Spoilers.
If you haven't
but-
seen Days of Future Past by now,
Yeah.
You are a fool,
Spoilers.
sir.
Bucky is the Winter Soldier. Sorry.
I watched Winter Soldier last night. It's a damn good film.
It's really good.
I went out and
I-
bought the Lego Movie today on Blu-ray,
How
and
was that?
everything was awesome.
Yeah, that's also like Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, like a ragtag team of
Chris Pratt
what?
leads a group.
Yeah, of assholes, and they fly in a spaceship.
You know, the
Everything is
film
awesome.
somewhat opens with like him finding some kind of magic artifact.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And
There
people
you
don't know
go.
he's
who
the
he is.
hero Gotham deserves.
People don't know who he is at first.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then he
He gets
becomes a
interrogated
somebody.
by the police.
indeed.
Liam Neeson. Who?
I
I
need
don't
you to
know
be focused.
who you are.
That was good.
It's funny because when you laugh, I see Groot laughing.
What about if I laugh?
Yes, my profile picture on Skype right now, everybody, is this was actually my favorite part of the movie. So Groot, puts his limb uh through a bunch of dudes and kills them, and Drax has a very happy face, and then Groot turns around and gives the most innocent, happy smile you've ever seen. And that got the biggest laugh in the cinema, and it is currently in my profile picture.
Yeah, that was definitely like the biggest moment of I did it, guys. Look at me.
Do you
I
think that they stretched a little bit with Chris Pratt taking his helmet off in space?
I I thought of that during, but I didn't care.
Yeah,
Well,
I
it seemed to be that like they weren't just sort of in like our space. Like it like
it
there was
did look
that
like they were in some weird nebula thing.
yeah Groot Groot or excuse
It's
me
funny
Rocket.
because there's another character named Nebula.
just that reaction.
Let's say that movie.
Oh my god.
Rocket was saying she'll be dead in a couple of minutes. So I mean it looked like they were given time to
Oh, I didn't hear the minute line.
yeah. So
Okay,
Groot
I'll
said
give you that.
just be dead anyway in a couple of minutes. Let's go. And it's like no, I got to be a hero.
Yeah, and then
I gotta be a hero.
it is really great how thank you Nixon how they give us
You're
that whole
welcome.
thing of what would be like, oh, you saved my life. It's like, yes, I did. Instead of that, they just had Star Lord being an asshole, and they got things back to normal. They didn't set up a big like super romantic moment between the two. Like it was
Yeah.
nice. It was a truly like a beautiful moment, but it reminded you, wait, this is Peter Quill. You know, he's gonna be full of himself.
I was also personally glad that they didn't involve that shot from the trailer of her without anything, just topless.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Um, it unfortunate in the
We got
sense that
Rocket. Unfortunately, we got Rocket instead.
unfortunate in the sense that Zoe Saldana is a very attractive woman, but I'd much prefer they just don't involve it than actually doing another one of those Star Trek Into Darkness thumbnail moments where literally the only reason it's in the movie is for a thumbnail.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was in the movie, so you could like go to a website and like watch some secret trailer or something.
Starring thumbnail.
Thumbnail. Well, all right.
Do you guys
Man,
remember
Best
Spy
character.
Kids with the thumbs?
yes, I do.
Good times.
Spy Kids. Good times.
I've never really watched Spy Kids, funny enough.
You never watched Spy Kids? That's okay.
No, so I was fine.
It's great because Danny Trejo's character in the Spy Kids film is the same character as his character in Machete. So,
Well
technically
then,
speaking, that's its own universe. It's called the Robert Rodriguez verse.
Howard the Duck is also in this universe.
I mean, probably.
Howard the Duck
like
should be in all universes, even our universe.
he
Probably is.
exists in the
Seth Green.
same he exists in the same universe as the Netflix Daredevil series. It promises to be gritty and all that sort of thing. That's awesome.
He
In the
exists
same
in the same universe as Alexander Pierce.
lives in the same universe where they finally cast Doctor Strange.
That's not gonna happen. What are you talking about? The movie's just gonna come out.
I swear to God, literally every single. It's always, hey, another male actor exists. He could be Doctor Strange.
He could have a mustache.
He could grow
Let's
facial
do
hair.
it. At least
I'm
it's
still going to get my photo taken of me walking out of a comic shop with all the Ra's al Ghul comics I can find.
God. I really want it to be comical. You're like, whoa! Like, look at all these
Whoa!
Ra's al Ghul books.
You found me, guys.
Oh, geez, don't take my picture and post it on the internet. Hashtag Al Ghul.
Like Al Ghul,
Yeah, Raz.
Raz Al Ghul.
Yeah, he was not in the film. Let's go ahead and talk about Rocket, because I like Rocket. Raccoon.
I thought that Bradley Cooper was so great, and he did a great job of sounding like he was there with them. Sometimes you have an actor add a voice that after a film's been shot and it doesn't necessarily fit. But he really played it as if he was there with them.
Yeah, I thought it was very good, and I also liked the shot of when he's getting changed, and uh, Quill just sort of has a glance over and sees the scars on his back.
Yeah,
It was a nice little subtle touch.
Yeah, they didn't have to, like, this is Rocket section of the movie where we talk about Rocket. It was just spread out evenly and done really well. They didn't give us everything on every character, but that's fine because it's the first movie, you know? I got exactly what I wanted out of it, and I'm excited to see what else they do. It wasn't origins, you know? These are the characters' origins of the film. We
Yeah.
got
X-Men
what we needed to
Origins,
know.
Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. God. Imagine if like each Guardian got their own movie and Drax is just like in a mall dealing with people. So many people would be dead. Also, John C. Riley had a pink wife. Thank you, space diversity. Brought that to Guardians of the Galaxy for space diversity.
Yes, that did seem quite a bit. You thought they'd be human characters, but
Like a
instead they were
reveal?
pink.
Hey,
Yeah.
remember those slaves that Benicio del Toro had? Well, guess what? They're people.
I thought for a second that it
Yeah.
was the same woman as the one that Star-Lord had been sleeping with at the beginning of the movie.
That was the
Oh,
reveal. Well, I mean, they do look the same. Hey-oh!
Oh, hey, come on now.
oh, come on, racial diversity. Um, yeah, I thought it was funny how they were well, actually, no, let's talk about this. The Collector, not in the film that much.
No, I was keeping my eyes peeled for anything and everything that could possibly have been part of his collection. Obviously,
Can
the
we
big
talk
seller
about
was at
those?
the
Yes,
very
same.
end. Was that Malekith or was it just another elf?
That was just a dark elf.
Yeah,
Okay.
because Malekith's missing like an arm and stuff.
Yeah, he was also giant and crushed by a ship.
Now the orb was sold to the collector at the end of Thor, was it not?
No, the ether was sold to the collector at the end of
Right, okay.
Thor.
And is
The
the ether
red
one
goo.
of the dark gems?
It is one of the Infinity Stones, yes.
Right.
One of the Michael Rooker kept on looking at this blue crystal thing. Is that meant to be one of them?
I doubt it. I
What was that? They kept on focusing on it.
I
He saw
just
it in
Marvel
the
films,
in the shop,
anything
and then he
any sort of MacGuffin is blue in the Marvel universe.
that's true.
it very well could be. I want to talk about all the stuff in the collector's room real quick. We saw a Chitari, which was cool.
Yes.
It's like, oh, remember those guys?
No, I
No.
missed it.
We'll go see it again. We saw
Oh yeah.
we saw a dark elf. There have been people saying that they've seen fucking Beta Ray Bill, but I didn't see him. For those of you who don't
No.
know, Beta Ray Bill is like one of the very few people that have been able to lift Thor's hammer, and he's like a space alligator person in that also has a hammer in space, which is cool. I didn't see him though. The biggest thing to talk about is the fact that Adam Warlock's cocoon was empty. If you guys remember, back in Thor: The Dark World, hey guys, it's 2013. We saw like this big ass gooey cocoon. You like that? Which looked very similar to the one Adam Warlock is known to be like stored in. And Adam Warlock is like a huge player in the Infinity Saga. Fast forward to now, 2014. Hey there, guys. Winter Soldier was great. Now we see that in the same case, the cocoon is like deflated and like cracked open, so we can assume that he is out. James Gunn has said that the next film will feature a new Guardian, one that's already been established in comics. So that could either mean Adam Warlock, who we know is going to play a big part in the Infinity stuff, and has been a Guardian before, or it can mean Nova. But I doubt it means Nova because James Gunn doesn't even like Nova.
I
So
think that sounds to me like a cover up. What he said.
that he doesn't like Nova. I
Yeah.
mean, it could be. I don't know. The fact that he did
Or
the
they'll make
Nova
it
Corps.
Iron Man, which would be boring.
Oh, please don't make it Iron Man. I could see them making an Iron Man, and please don't make it Iron Man.
Uh,
My God, just like I'm Robert Downey Jr. in space. Look at me. Whoa. I don't want to
Wow.
Iron Man. Yeah, Iron Man's like the obvious thing. Be like, how do we sell tickets? Let's put Robert Downey Jr. in Guardians of the Galaxy.
yeah, they add Wolverine to the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Exactly. It's like, what do we do? Let's just put Iron Man on every team. Avengers West Coast. Avengers in space. Avengers down under. Like, doesn't matter.
That's where I lead the film, alongside Hugh Jackman and Chris Hemsworth and
And Howard the Duck.
Howard. He's not Australian.
And
And Eric Bana.
the ghost of
and-
Heath Ledger.
I like how you said that in the grounds of reality. He's not
Yeah.
Australian.
Damn right.
How do you know?
Does anyone have any big points they wanted to bring up?
I was very like surprised to see how interesting like the soundtrack was in the film, like how much it was actually part of the character. Like
Yeah.
when have we ever seen that besides like a musical or something? Like this soundtrack in the film actually had to do with Star-Lord as a person. Like this is literally the soundtrack of his life.
Yeah.
And these
Yeah,
are the words he's lived by.
Popular music in films doesn't always translate the best. But here it was fantastic. It was, like you said, it was part of the character,
It was cool. Like rarely
part of his character.
it is very easy to be like throw in the popular song during this cool fight scene. Like that scene in Kick-Ass where it plays Bad Reputation. And it's like, this is a good song. Okay. Here, it actually meant something as far as who Peter Quill was as a person. You know, whenever he's singing those lyrics at the end, it's kind of like him saying, you know, hey, it gets easier. You know, that's just the kind of person he is because that's what he was raised to be. That's why it makes it even so much more interesting whenever he pops in the Awesome Mix Volume 2 and he hears those words for the first time and he's like, these are now newer lessons almost from my mother to teach me. And that's great. I thought that was just such a beautiful moment of him just sitting there listening to music. Why?
Yeah.
Whoever thought that would be like a super interesting and emotional moment in a superhero film when the main character sits down and puts in a cassette tape and listens to 70s music? That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is. It's awesome.
This film just nailed it.
Absolutely. It knew exactly what it needed to do, what it wanted to be, and it hit every point it needed to. I thought this was just the best way to do a film like this.
I'll need to see it again to just develop my thoughts more. I think I didn't have the best experience I could have had, and I'm eager to. I'm gonna go watch it on my own. Give myself the space that I'll need for it. But as a movie, I thought it was great. Is that it for all the interesting movies this year? Ninja Turtles isn't going to be anything interesting.
I'm super pumped. Oh, I'll tell this story. Okay, so before the movie started, we got trailers, and actually, I guess I have kind of a two-part story. The manager of, I guess, the owner of the movie theater always comes out at like early screenings and is like, "Hey there, guys. Hope you're excited to see this movie. Please turn off your phones." And then he always says something really cheesy. And this one he was like, "And for the love of Stan Lee, enjoy the film." And it's like, all right, dude, shut up. Uh, I get annoyed
Stanley.
because Skylar and I see that every time, and we get ready for it, and then we're like, "Dude, you're an idiot." If he had said like, "For the love of Groot," it would have been fine.
It's not
After
like he said Excelsior. He said for the love of Stan Lee.
he always said, well, it's like during Batman, he said like, "For the love of Chris Nolan," and during Avengers, he said, "For the love of Joss Whedon, please turn off your phone. No one wants to hear it," like that sort of thing. Anyways,
Sounds
afterwards,
like it's the
because
brightest part of his day.
yeah, he's an idiot. Afterwards, like he goes, "Oh, and by the way, any Hobbit fans?" And there's not really any response. He's like, "Well, we got a surprise for you." And they showed like the new Comic-Con trailer for The Hobbit, and no one cheered, and I laughed.
Take that, Hobbit.
I was like, "We're here for space," and the fact that it was like, and it's funny because for the rest of the film, people did cheer and like laugh and applaud and that sort of thing. But this Hobbit trailer, which was supposed to be a big deal to people, just wasn't in my theater. And if you like The Hobbit, that's fine or whatever. I just thought it was hilarious because I'm not a Hobbit guy, and I'm not here to see The Hobbit, and apparently no one else was either. Then later on, they showed the new trailer for Interstellar. Um, I want to avoid everything I possibly can about this film
Is that coming out this
because
year?
yes, comes out in November. I've seen the teaser trailer and that's it. And so when this new trailer came up, I took my hat, I covered my eyes, I put my hands on my ears, and I just sat there for the entire time. And my buddy Skylar did this too. And when the trailer ended, I was like, wow, I don't know anything new about this film. I don't know any of the new scenes or footage. I'm excited. I was so proud of myself at the fact that I now know nothing new about Interstellar because I'm already sold on the film.
I'm the same. I didn't get the trailer beforehand, but the trailer is online now. But I just haven't watched it because when you told me that you did this, I was like, you know what? I don't need to see the trailer. I'm also sold. I don't. I'm kind of happy to go into this. I feel like I know enough. One guy, a video I watched, and he talking about Comic-Con, and he talked about a theory that he had. It's like, well, fuck, I don't want to know that, dude. So like, I'm done. So like, knowing stuff, I'm happy to go into this film fairly blind.
Yeah, it's just like this film. As far as horror films go, if it was something else, I don't think I'd be as into trying to not spoil myself. But the fact that it's a new Christopher Nolan film, it's an original idea. I'm super already excited for it. I don't want to know anything else. I don't want to go in the film and be like, okay, I'm waiting for this scene to happen. Okay, this can happen. This person's not really dead or whatever because I know they're coming up later. Like I'm not trying to figure out the film in my head. I know nothing, and that's just, and I'll let the film, figure it out for me because that's what the film should do.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't. I've seen one trailer for Interstellar. I know very little about it.
Oh, puberty's coming, buddy.
Yeah. Anyway, look, I have to be quiet, and I'm tired. Leave me alone.
It's funny because my voice has been doing that a little bit as well, so it's okay.
No, I'm a man. I'm fine.
Oh, he
Apparently,
thinks he's a
someone
man.
Oh fuck no.
someone left a comment on my Q&A where they were like, "How old are you?" I was like, "Well then,
Well
I,
then, that was your response. Well then, dot dot dot.
I was like, I'm 21." I was like, "Well, 22 in 2 weeks, but who gives a shit? I'm 21." And he was like, "Oh, you look younger." I was like, "Okay, I don't know how to." I don't sure what that means. I mean, I don't show my face in that Q&A. I guess he's referring to when he's like seen me in like the top 8 videos or whatever. I was like, I don't. Okay, if you say so. That's the first time I've ever heard that.
I was literally told that I looked 12 last week,
Yeah, I saw that. What was up with that?
Some people just get it.
and then I posted another picture of me for no reason, staring people out in a
Yeah.
desperate attempt to look older.
That didn't work.
And then someone said, "Wait a minute, Sam. How old are you?" I said 19. And he went, "Wow, you look at least 16." I thought,
Yeah, I saw that.
okay, I'll take that, I guess. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, Interstellar.
Interstellar
right, yeah.
is also in
Yeah.
space. And that's
I haven't. I've only seen the one trailer, but Chris Nolan is. I mean, there's not much to say about Chris Nolan. I'm always looking forward to seeing what he has to offer. He's not the reason Man of Steel failed on me. In case anyone was going to comment that, I'm well aware of this. And yeah, I like sci-fi and I like Chris Nolan, so it should be a good combination.
Indeed.
yes.
Is that the only other thing coming out soon?
The thing
There's
I'm
that
looking forward
movie
to, I'm pretty
with
sure.
what's that movie with Ben Affleck and Neil Patrick Harris?
Oh shit, yeah.
That's not the name of it.
Oh,
I can't
okay.
even think of the movie you're on about.
It looks amazing.
The David Fincher movie. Hold on, I'm looking it
Gone
up.
Girl. It's Gone Girl.
Gone Girl, Gone Baby Girl. Okay.
No, it's just Gone Girl.
Oh.
Looks amazing. But that as
There's
far
a
as
second
like
trailer for that? Oh, come on.
there's as far as like big superhero action packed amazing things, Guardians is the end of it. Ninja Turtles doesn't count. That's more of like an experiment.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
What's the next Marvel movie coming out? Is it
Age
Avengers?
of Ultron,
Bloody hell.
the
Yeah.
sequel to Avengers,
Wait, what?
The sequel to Thor the Dark World.
the sequel to The Winter Soldier, not the sequel to Iron Man 3. We're just gonna forget that happened. Because he just has the
We
suit on.
can't go one podcast.
You know what? Let's just turn this into
You know what?
a hateful
We've done good
podcast.
without Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh,
Oh,
What?
Agents of
what?
S.H.I.E.L.D. More like
No,
Agents of
it's
Shit.
no. Uh,
What is this? Okay, there's an ad for a fencing academy on Facebook, and their logo is Deathstroke.
the famous fencer.
What is this? Anyways, Guardians was great. I loved it. I can't wait to see it tomorrow. I'm gonna have a fun time.
Yeah, I might see it tomorrow as well.
Good.
But I'll
Let's all
catch
see
you
it
at the
tomorrow.
gym, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Like
Jim.
Jim from The Office.
Yeah,
Okay,
Jim
cool. Yeah.
Parsons.
Yes.
That's not Jim from the
No, I
office.
don't like Jim Parsons.
Yeah, he's a weirdo. He looks like an alien.
Wow.
Ouch.
Hey,
wasn't
you know
gonna-
what? Guardians of the Galaxy. It all ties in.
He should be in the next one.
No,
as
he
himself.
Hey, he hasn't offended
Just like
black
sitting
people
in a
yet. I
bar
think
or
we're
something.
okay.
He hasn't offended black people yet. That's my job, I guess. I don't know. I'm the grumpy racist one or something. I don't know.
Okay, well, we're going to wrap it up.
This movie rule.
Thank you to everyone for listening. I hope everyone enjoyed it. And as always, guys, it was a lot of fun. We'll come back for a podcast on something. It doesn't have to be a Marvel movie. We'll sort it out. As you can tell, I'm tired. I might not
We
even
should
hit the
come
stop
back.
button.
You hit the stop button.
I might not hit the stop button
Oh.
because I'm so tired.
I think we should all get together and do a reflection at the end of the year like we did last year.
Yes.
Oh yeah, like a mirror.
Yes.
When will my reflection show who I am inside?
I watched Mulan recently, and Mushu was a dick.
I don't like Mulan.
I've never liked Mulan either. It was interesting when Mei Na Wen, who voices Mulan and is in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., came to Australia for SladeCon, as I affectionately call it, and like there were so many fans of Mulan. It's like I didn't know Milan was one of those films that people actually liked that much.
It's not.
But-
They're just pretending because they don't want to pretend they like Shield. So it's like the you know.
Oh. I don't hate Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I just wanted that to go on record. I thought that the end of the season was fairly well done, despite the fact that it did not make any sense in terms of timeline. They all knew about the Hydra infiltration before Cap made the announcement in the film. What the hell?
Also, Coulson is the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's so great how she described it. Coulson's gone from a leader of a ragtag team to the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., which now consists of that ragtag team.
And also, isn't he meant to still be dead?
How
And
is
not
he
everyone
supposed to
knows
be
he's
the
alive.
fucking director of an organization when he's supposed to be dead?
Loki's going to be like, "Oh hell no!" and he's going to come back to Earth and just stab
Oh,
him,
hell no.
just
And
cut off
then
his head, like regenerate that bitch.
he'll come down as Odin and kill him.
Loki, that
Uh,
would be the best. The
and
second Loki,
the series just
fantastic.
ended with them striking a pose.
Yeah, jumping in air and like high-fiving.
Yeah,
Just like that, except
Agents
Coulson
of
is dead.
Shield.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. becomes a musical.
Hey,
When
Whedon's done that
Agent
before.
Coulson runs his mighty shield.
He dies. The end.
Loki comes from Asgard and kills him.
Coulson. just that like really cold word at the end of each song. Just like
Yes.
Chloe. Yeah.
Okay, I probably
That's
should
Scott.
press the stop button at some point.
Bye guys. I
Bye,
liked
guys.
Guardians. It
Bye,
was
guys.
good.
Comment what you thought of the movie. I'll be posting a review at some point. Thanks for listening. Bye bye, everyone.
Metaphor.